So, are you a fan of the Golden Age, but you're like, man, I want some really good Bronze Age art? Do you hate when your stories take a long time to, enjoy the moment, scenery? You want just action, action, moving forward, forward? Well, I got the book for you. Today we're going to look at. You're not a book. Mwah! Hi. Let's try that again. Today we're going to look at Warlord by Mike Grell. Also, man, this book, the cat weighs more than the book. Let's take a look. So today we're looking at Warlord, and by the way, this is about like I don't know, less than 2 minutes since she ran away from me. Isn't that right? Um, so this is Mike Grell's Warlord Omnibus Volume One. I believe there's going to be three if they do all three of these. Okay, this was a lot of fun. One thing I gotta talk about though, the paper. I love and hate this paper, which is like that's an odd statement. What do I love about it? Easier to read, easier to take photos, like easier on the eyes. I am not a big glossy fan. I prefer matte. My only problem with this paper, it is thick. Like this thing's a chunker. It's light, but it's a chunker. Isn't that right? So, what is Warlord? I've seen like covers of the character. He appeared in JLU, but yeah, it's the kind of thing I've been wanting to read this for a while, and this did not disappoint. What's nuts is though, like I said, this feels like a golden age comic done in bronze with a slut. We'll get into it. It starts off with issue number one special. What's interesting, Top Cow kind of took this idea. It's like, hey, let's do a like issue number one, showcasing the character, give you an idea. If it sells well enough, we'll do like more of these. This apparently was kind of a little bit kayfabe, where it's like, oh, if it does well, we'll do more. They were planning on doing more anyway. So basically, what is Warlord? Our dude here, well, sorry, my cat, October will be 18 years with my cat, and she's getting a little older, so she will fall asleep, lean forward, and start to fall. Um, so our main man here, get, yeah. All right, let's try this again. um, I can't even remember his name. It's been a second. Morgan. Morgan. Sorry, it's like I've Morgan through Nexus, but Morgan comes from our world. He was a fighter pilot, and this takes place in the '60s. The Soviets. He goes through like the center of the Earth to this new world. If you've seen like Kong, the monster Kong Skull Island, you've seen this. This world is all like it's interesting. It's sword and sorcery with a gun, and I kind of want to get a little bit farther into this to start talking about the art. So, but a lot of the plot points, because like even like this, it's just weird because it's like this feels like Golden Age with a little bit TNA. Like this feels like 14 to 15-year-old TNA, if I can be honest. Like, yeah, it's showing a little bit more skin. The idea's there, but it's not quite. I wouldn't say it's R. It's not quite pervy. So yeah, and stuff like this where it's like he'll get like crucified, but not crucified, crucified. And I think this is the start of this. Yeah. So you have this page, like, in great. Mike Grell wrote and penciled this great moment to moment action. But then you get this, which I swear you got from Kirby. But man, this feels so 70s, but I love the look of this. And this kind of continues where a double page splash introduces you to the title of the issue. A lot of negative space, which it works for this because it almost feels like we're reading like a tome or like once again I in some ways I feel like fantasy does a little better if it feels like we're reading the history, like this has already taken place, we just don't know the outcomes, like these figures are long gone. So he gets enslaved. And you know what? I will say this. So I'm going to piss off everyone with this comment. Right now, I've noticed like a lot of literature lack of like awareness. Not every comic is political. It's not. Almost every good comic is. And this one it's weird. It slightly deals with some of this, but not it doesn't go that deep. But the other thing this does, and we'll talk about more with like Nexus, um, this it hints at things. Like it talks about slavery, and it's like, yeah, showing a black man, but it also shows like anyone can be a slave. And they go through the gladiators. And in some ways it's like this feels like it's easy to forget this takes place like during modern times because you just kind of you get involved in this fantasy world. That said, like, man, it's moments like this I thought was brilliant. Oh, okay, wait, yeah, this okay. So you got the notion of like Morgan's eyes, but what's really good is he gave that watch to his loved, like the one he loved. That's his watch. Rolex like only or is it Timex? Sorry, Timex only exists in this world because of him. So it's like just the paneling there, so well done. And it's interesting too because it's like technically these are only two panels, but it turns into three with the bars. And this kind of goes into like freedom. What's crazy though is like so this was issue 2 of Warlord. Like technically issue 3, but like this moves fast. Like he went from a gladiator slave to now the Warlord, which he gets that name because he leads a band to freedom. And it's basically the notion of like, hey, this world's run by like a lot of slavers, a lot of like royal types. So it's like, hey, let's show them what freedom is. Hi, bye. um, Great panel layout with this. This was an interesting choice too, and I just read The Long Bow Hunter. I wasn't a big fan of like his sketchiness there. I like it here because it's used like in the flashback, and like draws unicorns, literally draws like lizard men. And man, and the paneling to this, like, not and like this. I love the sequence. Kind of hard because you're supposed to go like, whoop, a little confusing there. But yeah, they find his old ship and they're worshiping it as a god, which, like, in this world would make sense because, like, that thing came out of the sky. We don't know what it is, so it must be a god. Giant snakes. Like, This feels like Conan for, like, 13-year-olds. The injector. Oh, yeah, the injector see through it. um, like I said, I'm not going to go through each one, even though it is tempting. Great giant splash pages. Okay, this is a good point to talk about this. He gets his gun from the ship. I feel like if this was like a modern, like maybe because it's like survival horror games are a thing, this could have been an interesting story point because it's like he uses the gun quite a bit. But it would have been great if, like, at some point, like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I only have 20 bullets left. And it's like, is this moment worth a bullet? Is it worth, like, bluffing? And this guy becomes his moral enemy, yada yada. They don't do that. It kind of like reset. Like, they don't talk about bullets. It resets quite a bit. And this is the kind of thing too where like all of a sudden like the wizard has a computer book. Oh yeah, the Conan ripoff. They do that once in a while because that is a clear like that's a clear nod to Conan. I think like Conan came out like right before this. And same thing. There's like a little bit of spattering of technology here and there. So why should you read like I said, a little bit of TNA, like not a lot. Like it's especially I'll say this, it's a lot for like silver to bronze age. Because this is still, I believe this is still like this is 100% still comics code. Yeah, approved by the Comics Code. Like I don't know, maybe because she's Russian. So he goes back like onto the surface, and it's moments like this where like he comes back and all of a sudden his helmet is covered in dust. Like you find out time works differently. This is where this kind of is where it started picking up. Especially like I said, these great double page spreads. Also, too, another Conan like let's job on Conan. And the written and illustrated by Mike Rell. So such a nice touch. Um, so now the plot is okay. I need to go find my love. I've been away from her too long. I know she's from this kingdom. Let's move forward. And what's interesting too is he meets his old friend, and this is a straight up cursed axe, like a cursed item. And it's like I don't think like like it's interesting because it's like stuff like Dragon Quest, D&D, like that's become kind of common. Not so much common here. And it's like, well, how do we get rid of, you know, how do we get rid of this cursed axe? He's trying to let go, but he can't. Or no, he gets it stuck in the wall and cuts off his hand. And for a comics code, like, whew. And I will say that he's great about this, setting up like the next little thing. Oh, okay, this one, yes. This felt like the most golden age. So they get attacked by pterodons, like, and just the pan. I mean, I'm gonna gush about the lettering, but yeah, this just feels like okay, dinosaurs attack, and that's like I said, I need to try this at some point because that works out so well. And of course, they attack our one female, the Russian, and of course, our heroes leap into action without thinking. Also, like Grill, like Morgan strong, but man, this dude like just one handed with a mace, like whew. So they go to the city of the sky that has robots, and it's like okay, sure, why not? And they break in. Dude's just hanging out with her, like, hey, what's the problem? It's like, oh, this is a paradise. I get bored. They sometimes send the wrong thing, you know. And it's like, I will have them collect meat. Well, it turns out that meat is often humans because they go into the freezer. And yeah, like, and it's little things like this where I'm like, this feels so golden age. And it's like, all right, escape the snowy beach. Like this could have been reading this too. I get where Watchmen came from, which sounds like a weird statement, but I'm 100% behind it because this moves so fast. It's like every issue like has to be a new setting, a new thing. So it's like there's like they continue with each other, one thing leads to another, but there's not like a lot of part ones, part twos. And like I said, this biggest man slut I've ever seen. Um, and yeah, like a lot. I mean, like yeah, this is him going out in the snow, risking it all. Great imagery, great iconography. Definitely some D&D, like not straight up a beholder. And like I said, like that's an S&M cross. That is 100% S. You're not going to tell me it's not. And what's crazy is like we're not even like a third through this book, and it goes to such wild, crazy places. Yeah, his old foe comes back. The cover. This is a retelling issue. How he got here. The only thing that gets me with this, and I get it, I think it was like more of a deadline thing. They reuse a lot of the art, so it's like it's not fun to read. It's like in this setting, it's not. This was great too because like Morgan. Okay, so Conan's like crafty. I need to like just pull out one of my Conan omnibuses. This is one of these days. Conan's crafty, well thought out, but he plays things close to his chest. He often likes people to think he's like a Neanderthal and imbecile. He's not. He's not book smart, but he's very cunning and a tactician. Morgan's a brawler. Morgan is like there's more in charisma than like it's strength and charisma. This man is just a peacock that has a punch. This is what I hate though. Too. I hate when books do this because it's like, gotta turn that sucker. Also, the other thing I love about this, since this was done in the '70s, you can tell with how the dinosaurs are depicted. Basically, this kid wants to go to war. He's convincing him not to go to war because war's bad. What's crazy though, it's I love like this is so goofy, but I love the iconography of it. And yeah, oh yeah, this guy. So what's interesting? I was about to flip ahead, but this guy like traps them. This guy was from when he got the Russian woman up in the up in the normal world. It becomes like the deadliest hunter. They got a bunch of C4, and he needs to get the detonator before it goes off. It is interesting though because he talks about here it's like okay, I need to think. I can't just rush into it. I can't just run blindly, but I have to move fast. Gets his gun, bunch of traps. His gun's wired. Boom. Turns out he knew it. Got the better hand. His friends are safe. Yada yada. Another great. I love these double page spreads. This one's interesting too because it's basically this. This I love. This is one reason I love kind of fantasy. So he's got hit with some poison. All men are mine. This was a great issue because this is his love of his life. The love of his life he's been looking for. And like even just here, like a great flashback, great just illustrations, especially like not the easiest to do above, and a great way to render lips. I know I keep saying great, but like the shadowing. The other thing is one, this reads easily. Two, you want those different size characters, and yeah, she is death. And what's interesting about this is she's, it's basically like your time has come, and I've come in a shape that you would think you'd find pleasing. And it's like, all right, if you don't like this form, I can go into others. And like, that could have been a cover. Yeah, it's like, I would have loved if that was covered to this omnibus. And he gets tortured, but it's Morgan. Morgan doesn't give up on life. And this, like, and I know I talk about the art a lot, but here, that you shall, Morgan, and in the final battle you will lose, for in the end all men are mine. And it's like, oh, so true. He makes it back home, love of his life. We're gonna start skipping ahead a bit. She's upset because like she thought dead, showing up with another half naked woman. They have a kid, which that's a goofy looking kid. Turns out they get attacked. They're like this ancient city's on top of a older computer system. Woo! Kid gets kidnapped. And here's the crazy thing: like, they go to a witch to get like more information to find out where he was kidnapped, fighting like a golem, and it's kind of like going through the desert, citadel of death. This felt like Red Nails a little bit, not quite, but like it's got the flavor of that. Okay, this was a great. Oh, we can't skip this. So they're looking for their kid, and they need an object. They need a MacGuffin, as you do in fantasy. The upper top here is the current. This is the past, and it's showing how this object got here. And it's such a great way to do this because it's two things. It's quite clear. He keeps it separate, and this border here. It's interesting because it's like okay, well, this almost feels like illustrated prose, which I'm not against. It's like cool, especially for a flashback. But here it's like you got the moment to moment. And it works well too because it's like this feels more alive where this feels more like the highlights which you would get from the past. Also ape tiger creature things because fantasy, but such a great way, especially because all of a sudden the stories start to collide. So all of a sudden it's like Morgan's dealing with this guy's dealing with this, and the stories merge. Like all of a sudden his story ends and the goofiest T-Rex. So this is one like I don't want to spoil everything. There's a lot here. Especially what's crazy is they kidnap his son. He loses his son. He comes back like he doesn't know how to handle it because he lost his son. Yeah, his son grows up to fight him. He has to kill his son. Like, there's a lot. And here's the thing: all of this, all the like, turns out his son's not being raised by a witch or by a loving couple. This is issue 22. Like, this is stuff. I'm like, this would have been a whole series on itself up to this point. It's him like trying to find his way back. So yeah, I recommend this because it's a lot. It's different fantasy, especially like I know we're getting a Harry Potter reboot. We're about to get a Lord of the Rings reboot, and it's just like give us something different and new. And it's like, do these always work out? Nah, but they're a lot of fun, especially because you don't know where they're going. Especially like, yeah, this one with the werewolf, I really dug because it was a nice twist. Same thing with this one. Like, it's interesting because takes he takes well-known iconographies and well-known tropes and plays with them. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we're expecting this. It's like, we're going to change it up a bit. So yeah, it's him. It's interesting too because he feels like he killed it, like he lost his son. Of course, it's comics. He didn't, but he feels like he betrayed his wife. So it's like, well, he can't go back to her. And yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting because I can go like through the moment to moments, talk about all the characters, but it's just like I guess I wanted to talk about this because I enjoyed this a lot. Like I'm looking forward to volumes 2 and 3. Is it perfect? No. I could. There's a lot of flaws to it. It's easy to kind of point out, um, especially reading this back to back to back to back to back. You start to see like a lot of the similar. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, this one was crazy because I swear like Swamp Thing took this storyline to. I think it was Swamp Thing. Or it was a horror. I forget. Might have been like a Warren Mag. Basically, this guy gets this curse where he has to relive life. Like he's time traveling through life, through history, but he doesn't control it. So he lives out like different lives in different periods. So like this is Atlantis. He's there on the final days of it, like following. So he does all he can to save it. He goes through gladiators, the Crusades, um, Musketeers. This was interesting too because he actually became like a native. He's not always a white guy. He was a Native American here. So it's like it's like he's always seems to be on like the losing side of history, where it's like, oh, these people got wiped out or this happened. It was an interesting looking idea. Then you go, next one you got Snake. Oh yeah, like I said, look at this slut. But yeah, next one you got are Snake people because fantasy. Ugh. Oh, this one gets so our main trio here end up transferred like into a different time and like dimension. So it's like you got like heroes come and go. Yeah, that's his boy. He got better drawing what's it called? Children. Okay, this one was interesting too because what this was. Oh, where is it? I know it's here. There's a line here that's from Conan. Okay. Yep. So he falls into. I'm kind of rambling with this one, but this is me having fun, being a nerd. He falls into the treasure trove and some great looking trolls, statue stones, especially with the purple, like just well done. And he finds the shield with his marking on it. He's like, I should take this shield. Well, since he took this treasure, trolls came alive. Here's what's interesting though. This was a line from the Conan prose, that then the comics, then this Warlord came out, then later on the comics of Conan use. How can you kill something that is already dead? Well, if you can't kill them, you can slow them down. Like that, like it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's like that was a line that came from the original text. So it's interesting that it's like, hey, he quotes Conan, like he's quoting the prose before the comics get to it. And yeah, there's always Land of the Giants. And like I said, this book moves constantly. Like he always gets like new companions. War with a gun. She's an interesting one because she can turn into a cat, which you wouldn't think like it doesn't seem like much, but you know it works well in the story because it's like she can do things he can't. And basically, Birdmen are attacking the Keebler elves. Oh, this! I swear, I'm like, oh my gosh, we got chocobos here. Um, a cursed sword. Yeah, like this story goes everywhere. Like at some point, he gets end up like in a board game. Devils and Demons. Yeah, clear up D&D. It's gods playing D&D. Yeah, so this is a series. It doesn't take itself seriously, but it has stakes. Like you are worried for like you're not necessarily worried for like Morgan himself, but you're kind of worried on the outcomes. And I'm so glad like DC is printing. I love these like wacky like off the beaten path, not the it's like they could easily stick with just Batman, Superman, the big ones. But it's fun getting these like random, especially all the original art in the back, and like sometimes the black and white in this, I feel like you lose something like in the like I, I don't want to say you lose something in the colors, but you gain so much clarity just with the black and white. Like you have to focus on certain things. And yeah, it is goofy. It is fun. It's high fantasy with a mix of sword and sorcery. Because it's like Morgan is out here just a guy with a gun and a sword. And like I said, I wish in some ways it was taking itself a little bit more seriously, but overall, a great story. Yeah, this I can't recommend this story, this paper enough. So if you made it this far, which is a rarity, definitely go through, check out my comic, Bang the Battle of the Tiger, Kung Fu Fantasy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to gush about this. Like, this is like, especially with a full omnibus. Part of me was thinking, I'm like, I could go through and try to find like, especially like I said, it's interesting with all the colors here. Actually, let's take a second. It's my video. I can do what I want. Yeah, there's something like I don't know. It feels like a little bit more mature without the colors. Like it's a gorgeous job with them, and I'm glad they did. But there's something about the black and whites, and this is Vince Canaletta, who like he butchered oh what's his face Jack Kirby, but like this was a good fit for him, especially because like probably because he doesn't draw that many backgrounds. But yeah, especially like this issue here, for I Am Death, like and I guess this is the other cool thing about when you have a creator, and this is a creator owned book disguised as DC, but it's like you could take time to do like a whole issue like this, and it's like this might have been like a catch up issue because it's like there's not that many panels, a lot of big figures, but it works. And especially because like the layout's different, it reads well. So yeah, I can't recommend if you love like sword and sorcery, um, like D&D that's not D&D with a little bit of dinosaurs, Warlords for you. There's going to be 3 of these in total. The only thing is, like I said, love this paper, love the build, but man, and it's light. But man, this thing is a chunker. So anyway, check it out, y'all.